Smacking Off's livecast will be starting at 9 p.m. Eastern.
El livecast de Smacking Off comenzará a las 9 p.m., hora del este.
Smacking Off's livecast will be starting at 9 p.m. Eastern.
El livecast de Smacking Off comenzará a las 9 p.m., hora del este.
Alright, that's what I'm talking about. You can't let nobody else talk. He's over there stumbling over a damn acronym.
It's like guy with pussy testy, motherfucker.
And he was like, oh, you know, they'll never be no good. They're like Kentucky or some shit like that.
I'm curious to see where all
Get prepared to do a lot of scrolling.
So it's way on down there, right?
They're way down.
Smacking off the park.
Y'all want to see Jimbo Fisher get his ass fired? Give me a big old hell yeah! We as Alabama fans have waited for this moment in earnest, simply due to the fact of what was it he said again? Why don't you look in to see how God does his thing, huh? Huh? Go look into that.
He wasn't as animated as you. I just listened to it earlier. I was actually supposed to play it, and I forgot to.
Because it wasn't as animated as you remembered. It was pretty animated though. It's still one of the most glorious pieces of SEC head coach conference that you'll get this side of Lane Kiffin, bar none.
Well, let's listen to it. You want to listen to it?
Absolutely. Of course, I want to listen to it every single time that I get the chance.
Here we go.
Jimbo Fisher.
It's a shame that we have to do this. It's really despicable. It's despicable that somebody can say things about somebody and an organization. More importantly, 17-year-old kids. You're taking shots at 17-year-old kids and their families. That they broke state laws. That they're all money. We bought every player on this group. We never bought anybody. No rules were broken. Nothing was done wrong. It was all and the way we do things, the ethics in which we do things. And these families, it's despicable that a reputable head coach could come out and say this when he doesn't get his way or things don't go his way. The narcissist in him doesn't allow those things to happen, and it's ridiculous. But when he's not on top, and the parity in college football he's been talking about, go talk to coaches who coach for him. You'll find out all the parity. Go dig into wherever he's been. You can find out anything. And it's a shame that you got to sit there and defend 17-year-old kids and families. And Texas A&M, because we do things right, we're always going to do things right. But we're always going to be here. We're doing a heck of a job. These coaches have done a great job. Our players have done a great job. The whole organization of recruiting people. It's despicable that we got to sit there at this level of ball and say these things to defend the people of this organization, the kids, 17-year-old kids, and their families. It's amazing. Some people think they're God. Go dig into how God did his deal. You may find out about a guy that a lot of things you don't want to know. We built him up to be the czar of football. Go dig into his past. Or anybody who coach with him. Find out anything you want to find out. What he does and how he does it. And it's despicable. It really is. And it's a shame we have to sit up here and have this conversation about things we do. And it's personal to us? Yes, it is. It's personal to A&M. It's personal to our players. It's personal to our coaches and everybody involved. And I know the guy. Know him really well. It's amazing that we're allowed to do those things. It's really despicable. And I hate it. For our players who are coming here, who did things the right way, have done things the right way, continue to do things the right way. I apologize to those people who insult you publicly the way they're doing it. And our fans, I apologize to you guys for people saying those things about Texas A&M. I promise you this, there are no violations. There are nothing wrong. It's the second time we've had to do this with grown men who don't get their way and want to pout, throw a fit, and act up. Just go ask all the people who work for him. You'll know exactly what he's about. I always said this. My dad always told me this. When people show you who they are, believe them. He's showing you who he is.
Questions?
He's gone. And it's going to cost the University of Texas A&M. Now we've got, I know coming up Wednesday, that's usually when they change the prices at the pump. How much is this going to impact gas prices? Doug Phillips.
The fact that they have to pay him $75 million.
Yes. How much is that going to affect the average common man as far as oil prices? Because I'm going to tell you what, they're not just going to be able to pull that money out of thin air and hire a brand new head coach, which is going to be who again?
Fuck if I know.
Hearing a lot of Dan Lanning.
They're going to, yeah. I don't know if Dan Lanning would want any part of that because
he's got something good going on up in Oregon, and if you've ever been up there, it's really nice.
There is hellacious dysfunction in College Station,
and
not to mention Dan Lanning's also rumored to be the heir apparent to Saban at Alabama.
Yeah, maybe.
And he knows that if he follows Nick in there, he'll probably get at least half the control Nick's got, and that's a lot of control.
But he's got all the money, though. He can do none of the work and get all of the money. That's Jimbo Fisher, of course. That's amazing. That's the most amazing part, that even in all of this, he's still somehow the winner.
Well, they felt that it was worth it to go ahead and pay him $75 million to not coach any games there anymore.
And that is, I mean, how do you get hired after that other than, maybe your Division II program? Look at Rich Rod over in at Jacksonville State right now kicking ass.
Oh, really? Jacksonville State.
In Alabama, in Anniston, Alabama. Most people outside of Alabama never heard of Anniston.
I'd forgotten all about Rich Rod. I knew that he was working for one of the SEC schools.
He's a head coach at Jacksonville State right now. He's got those boys coached up. This is their very first year in 1A big boy ball.
I don't hear any Dr. Balls.
I don't see Dr. Balls. Is he here? I don't feel his presence with us.
You know what? I think we just talked him up.
Excellent.
What's going on?
I knew that there was no way after that Kentucky loss that we weren't at least going to have a quick chit chat with Dr. Balls. Not one to bust Balls, of course, but I think everybody kind of figured that game was going to kind of go the way that it did. Milroe looks better and better and better as the season progresses. Kind of reminds you of the whole Jalen Hurts story, doesn't it?
Oh yeah, more Cam Newton story, but not without as much police.
I think he at least looks like he's got a better arm than Jalen Hurts did when he was down.
Oh yeah, man, he loves that long ball, and he's an extremely efficient quarterback, and that's kind of why I compare him to Jalen. Plus, him and Jalen are both very mobile. Maybe closer to Cam Newton as far as ability goes. Don't know. He's certainly presenting himself quite well.
They say that he's become a pretty good leader on the field too, and that's always important for your quarterback to be that guy.
Oh yeah, I saw him. Dudes bounce off from him. He was just slinging them down, forearming them and stuff. And I was like, God damn, this guy's the quarterback,
Well, I don't mean to be a homer, but Doesn't it really look like, as far as the SEC goes, and probably as far as top tier college football in 2023 goes, that Alabama and Georgia look very much the part. Georgia looked awesome yesterday.
Absolutely.
Boy, I hate
That's
to say
good.
that.
That's going to be a hellacious game,
Man.
and it's going to be it's going to be high ratings. There's no doubt that this is setting up to look. It looks a lot to me like if Alabama didn't have a loss, it'd be even bigger. But it's kind of reminding me of Alabama, Florida, maybe 2008, 2009.
Yeah, but did anybody care to watch a minute or two of the Auburn-Arkansas game?
Auburn is definitely improving at the right time and has definitely made the Iron Bowl look a lot more interesting on paper.
Not to say that I'm absolutely horribly worried about it, because if you watch Auburn, the way that they're playing football, which has been better and better week in and week out, they're now bowl eligible.
Damn.
Congratulations on the Auburn Tigers for that. Arkansas is not. Dan Enos has already lost his job, and they're still probably not going to go to a bowl.
I'm very glad that we didn't go into the Auburn game needing the Auburn win to win the West, because Saban don't have a great record like that.
But Doug,
if he has to,
and I both know that this game, especially with who's coaching at Auburn right this moment, that this game isn't a trap game, because Auburn has they're bowl eligible now, and they have absolutely nothing to lose to sling everything at Alabama that they've got.
Saban knows this, and Saban knows about the guy over at Auburn, and has a lot of understanding of him, and
he has a lot of respect for him, doesn't he?
Absolutely.
Yeah.
So, I expect a great game. I expect this game to go into the fourth quarter, trying to figure out if Alabama can pull it off. I wouldn't expect nothing.
No. I mean, come on, Doug. I'm not trying. Look, I'm trying to be sweet to my Auburn friends here, because their team's doing a little bit better. But let's be realistic here.
How about
Alabama? Alabama hasn't let anybody do anything in the second half this year.
How about those Hurricanes, man? They like to pull it off.
Yep, they did.
The U is not back. No, still not back.
How about USC? USC's got their fourth loss of the year now.
Oh, wait a minute. I got that one, dude.
That was for you, Gibbs.
Get that one.
That was for you, Mike Gibbs.
That was for you, Hunter.
Yeah,
that's sad. That's some sad business right there. And I don't know now. Lincoln Riley to Texas A&M. I'm going to call it now.
Damn.
So they're
going to leave Lincoln Riley on the tarmac. He's going to Texas A&M. He'll lead them back to 9 wins and a decent bowl.
I haven't done the research on this yet, but I'm pretty sure is Alabama and Georgia the only championship game that is pretty much booked already.
Yeah, because what happened to the little brother yesterday?
Man,
the Gus bus.
They didn't show up.
Let's get back on the Gus bus. He's almost bowl bound. I think they're what? He's like 5-5 now. So boy, he looked great. He looked great against little brother yesterday.
Crushed him.
It's like them old Bedlam games of old, man.
I think Tim Bailey pretty much nailed it earlier. I seen him on a thread, and he said that Oklahoma State left everything on the field in their Super Bowl last week, and they didn't have anything left this week. And he's probably right. Emotionally, they just weren't in their heads.
Yeah, but I mean, seriously though, especially when you're what are they going in that game ranked? Top 10, wasn't it?
Yeah,
9.
They were. I thought they were like 12.
Yeah, I think they were right.
I knew it was in and around the top 10 there. I'm sorry, I'm on cold medicine, so y'all forgive me.
I watched that game. And
really?
Yeah, and Okie Light, they were outmatched. They looked like they were playing a top 10 team.
Gus Malzahn.
Boy, that Big 12 championship game is going to be huge, isn't it? Who's going to be?
Might as well just go and hand it to Texas and be done.
But I would say Oklahoma has a good shot now to get back into this thing because they're tied for second right now.
Tied for second with
Oklahoma State.
Oklahoma State's got to drop one more.
They do.
Who else do they have?
Let me go look this up.
because they win the head-to-head this year.
What about
Yeah.
Crazy as that sounds.
I believe they'll probably lose. I mean, I don't know how many games we've got left here. Probably 2. And I don't know how many.
Kansas, they dropped one yesterday, right?
Yes.
Finally.
Yes,
Yeah.
but Kansas State won. Kansas State's pretty close. I don't know but they don't have a tiebreaker over them like Oklahoma State does.
I know y'all are calling me crazy, but fucking Liberty's still undefeated.
Damn.
And Hugh Freeze is not their head coach anymore.
Now, let me throw this out there. Oklahoma State's got 2 conference games left, and these are new conference teams. They've got to go to Houston this weekend, and they've got to play BYU to close the season out. So, it's not a long shot at all that they drop one of those.
BYU is not great, but again, neither was UCF. Come on, man. This is not one of the better UCF teams. Again, I think they are 5-5 or
I think that's right.
Something like that, yeah.
But they just now evened up. They were 4-5. They could go to the game.
So they're still they're on the cusp of bowl eligibility, which Oklahoma State gets to go to one, but man, that's not where their season was headed. They should be popping up on our live championship. Or popping up further because I believe they were on last week's list, if I remember right. I don't know anything anymore. I'm high on cold medicine.
All right, let's get high on some Bones coffee, and then we'll be right back.
Let's do it.
What's the difference between these 2 identical cups of coffee? Everything. Everything. Boring, basic coffee is leaving you dead inside. Thank the Dark Lord, there's Bones Coffee. Small batch, full-bodied coffee infused with the most mind-melting flavors in the world. Or underworld.
Oh, I've had flavored coffee
before.
I've had
flavored coffee before. You haven't had Welcome to the highly caffeinated, slightly wicked, and immortally delicious world of Bones. Our mad coffee scientists have twisted nature to their demented wills.
It's alive!
With frightfully delicious flavors like from dusk till donuts.
It's a taste I can really sink my teeth into.
Mint invaders.
I don't mean to probe, but how did you make this coffee taste like ice cream?
And electric unicorn.
Like eating fruity cereal. Yeah!
At Bones Coffee, we'll try just about every flavor combo out there.
Cannolis, salted pretzels, strawberry cheesecake.
The ones we love are made into small batches, roasted to order, and delivered directly to you. But the others... Rest in peace, Beanfish. We've got over 30 killer concoctions, so French press that link to find your new flavored coffee. There's more to life than pumpkin spice. But yeah, we smashed that pumpkin too. We also have comforting classic coffee if the flavored stuff is too scary. At Bones, our beans are complex and multidimensional.
I have opinions.
Which makes for rich, smooth, jaw-droppingly good joe. Stop drinking hot bean water and resurrect your caffeine routine. You can Bones at home, Bones at work, or Bones during your commute. Go to bonescoffee.com and check out our thousands of spooktacular 5-star reviews. If committing to one flavor gives you the heebie-jeebies, try our sample packs, a shocking selection of our most hauntingly delicious blends. Or join the coffee club and get new flavors delivered as often as you'd like. It's time to break from boring. Click the link to get yourself a bag of Bones today.
And welcome back to the JIMBO Extravaganza. Welcome back to Smacking Off the Podcast. I'm your host, Shannon Madden, and Jimbo Fisher is still fired from Texas A&M.
It may be a time that I switched up Bones Coffee to the Christmas commercial. We still got the Halloween one running.
Oh yeah, you're supposed to run all the national spots, Doug. That's how big time radio works.
That unicorn is pissing me off in the commercial. Is it just me?
There's a few things that piss me off about that commercial. The length of it. We need to have 2 different Bones Coffee commercials that are not that are half the length of that commercial.
You know what we can do? Just chop it in half.
I'm going to talk to their people next week. Man, I'm high as balls on this cough medicine, y'all.
We're going to get our people to talk to their people.
Are you sick too, man? Because I've been.
Yeah, I got the bid. I got COVID.
Really?
Damn.
Yeah, I think so.
If I got
It's either COVID or really nasty sinus infection. I'm thinking COVID for this one, but I don't know. I'll be all right.
I've been sick for a week myself, man.
Did you get the vaccine?
Yeah, but 4 times. But
Doug, did you get the vaccine?
Sure.
I didn't. I've had COVID.
No,
this is number 4 for me.
No, I ain't got no fucking vaccine.
Why not?
Because I don't want it.
Why not?
Why don't you want it?
That's personal. See how easy that is, y'all? That's how every fucking life interaction needs to be.
Yep.
Every single one. Every single one. All right.
All right.
Our Joe Rogan moment there.
Jim Bob got the vaccine
in this cough medicine. I think Johnson & Johnson is the worst one. They're the one that gave the women cancer in their vaginas with the baby powder.
Damn.
Yep. We don't like that.
Nobody loves that.
No. I don't want cancer anywhere. Cancer's stupid. Cancer's dumb.
My mom died of cancer, so it's
dumb shit. My mom had it before she died, and then when she died of the COVID. Of course, I don't know. I got other things to say about that off air, but yeah, we'll just for extension purposes, she died of COVID, and but she had her cancer had come back. She had stage 3 colon, lower intestine. Yeah.
So did my mom, and it spread to her chest, her lymph nodes, all and on.
I got a sister-in-law dealing with stage 4 right now. Hers is lung and a few other organs. You know, once it gets to multiple organs, it's that stage 4 mark.
There's really nothing to do about it.
You know, man, it's fucked up, man. In 2023, we're sending people we're talking about going to Mars. We haven't cured cancer yet, or at least put it in the same category as what is that? HIV. HIV hasn't been a death sentence for quite some time. Doug and myself have 2 friends of ours that have HIV that take medication and have had it for right at 20 years now.
Yeah.
And
now, do you think the
fatter and healthier than ever?
Do you think Do you think the increased rates of cancer that's been going on in our lifetime, or at least that I've seen, have anything to do with the environmental factors, and they won't admit it?
I mean, you know, look, lead has been all up in our shit up until very, very recently. And we still have a lot of lead in our water piping.
A lot of traces. There's traces of mercury in a lot of our shit too.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. You go, so, you know, I do plumbing for a living, and the plumbing solder, up until about, the late 90s had 15% lead in it. And the old guys, you know, Papa working out there in the shed, he had that old 50-50. So, yeah, which is highly outlawed now. You can't use that. But, yeah, there's still a lot of that holding our piping together. That our water passes through, our drinking water passes through. And that's just there. I mean, there's so much contamination in the soil and the oceans and stuff like that. And there's a lot of different fingers we can blame everywhere. We can point a bunch at ourselves.
Leaded gas.
We're nasty motherfuckers. We all are.
How about Harbaugh? Harbaugh's team.
He still got a job.
He does. He wasn't there. He wasn't there.
I mean, but he still got the job. Michigan lobbied very hard for him to be there. They just Big Ten said no, and that was at the request of all the other Big Ten coaches, which, you know, few of them had to say. And, you know, and look, Harbaugh was off the lines. They're not sealing signs anymore, and they kind of looked they looked beatable yesterday. A little bit.
They didn't pass the ball the whole time.
They didn't lose. They didn't lose the game. That was the important thing. Speaking
of beatable, man, is anybody getting tired of watching Washington fuck around like they're going to lose and then pulling it out at the last minute? You need to get your shit. You need to get your team together, Bruce.
This is kind of like some of the some of the better Notre Dame teams of recent years.
I kind of like Gooder better.
Yeah, Gooder is a good word.
Gooder's great.
Yeah. USC drops their fourth game, and
out of the top 25.
And those Oregon Ducks are looking pretty damn good, and I believe we're going to see an Oregon-Washington Pac championship, and I think Oregon takes it this time around.
Damn. Well, Bruce would be happy with that.
Well, I may be wrong.
But Oregon is looking really damn good now, better than they were at that time.
And Texas is begging to fucking lose, but they ain't done it yet.
Ain't done it yet.
I got a feeling if they play Oklahoma again, I got a feeling Oklahoma beats them again.
I don't know, man. Venables needs to win that game.
Yeah,
a lot more so than Sark does.
Okay, I have to say this. I'm very shocked at this, and I really had Tennessee in this game. I think Tennessee has had I've really felt all year that Tennessee they've got the pieces, they're just not putting it
Oh shit!
But goddamn, they look like a fucking turd.
Is Missouri good or?
I'm dead, y'all. I'm dead.
Or did Tennessee shit the bed?
I think Missouri's good. I mean, I think we've seen that last week when they played Georgia very competitively.
Tennessee fans will argue they're extremely good. They're like national championship good.
Talking about Missouri?
Yeah.
Yeah. Whatever it takes to make yourself feel better.
Oh yeah. Well, you got to talk your talk. Well, I mean, look, we're saying it right now about Texas. Texas is one of the best teams in the land.
I think Oklahoma State. I don't think they are, but I think they're. I think
UCF fans don't think much about them right now. That's for damn sure.
Alabama's got to have a problem. If they get to, it's not completely out of the question that Alabama runs the table and don't get into the playoffs if Texas is still hanging around.
Yeah, I mean, there is still. I mean, Alabama's going to have a perfect finish.
But they could still not get there even if they have that perfect finish if the right stuff happens. If Florida State keeps winning, if Washington keeps winning.
Does the committee keep an Alabama team that lost to Texas, and let's say Texas is somehow eked out at the last minute too? Their only losses to Texas, and they go in and they handle business against Georgia. This particular Georgia team, which other than Michigan is really your only is marching into the playoffs team. You know, the defending national champions at that.
I think Bama needs somebody to lose. Okay, so it's real obvious looking at the Big Ten that Michigan and Ohio State are.
We need Texas to win. We need Texas to win the Big 12.
I think Alabama could get in without Texas winning the Big 12. I think Alabama needs Florida State, Washington, or Texas to go down. And I don't think they get it. I think it's foreseeable that they don't get in.
Bob, how many of those teams do you think will drop one?
I think about Michigan will drop one for sure.
They don't have the signs anymore.
We'll see what happened was they didn't pass the football after the middle of the second quarter.
I don't think they're. In fact, is Harbaugh? Harbaugh's not allowed on the sidelines for the remainder of the regular season. Correct?
That's correct.
Now, again, I don't. You know, is he's still allowed to coach the game? He just can't be on the sidelines doing it. Remember when Nick Saban had COVID, and we were still winning, just like Nick Saban was standing there.
How did they get that done?
Nick Saban wasn't there. That's my official answer. Hashtag inside sources. He was not on the sidelines because he had COVID and could not coach that game.
But did he do it remotely? Did he call it in? How did he get? What was the physics?
He wasn't there.
Yeah, it's true. But he won.
Neither was Harbaugh. Harbaugh wasn't there yesterday.
So do you think it was Harbaugh's? Do you think it was Harbaugh's decision to not pass the ball, starting with the beginning of the second quarter of that game?
I don't know. I mean, the thing is that he was in a different location, so maybe he was watching some other games. I would be.
Was he still on the sides?
I'd make sure that the game that he is supposed to be coaching, that he's not allowed to coach and not allowed to be there, I would make sure that game was piped in real time. You know what I mean, Vern?
Hell yeah.
I mean, just, and then just get on the phone with some friends and talk about the game. How hard is that? How fucking hard is that? This is 2023, man. We're talking about implanting chips in our brain to be able to use the internet with our brain. Yeah, Musk has killed a bunch of monkeys doing that.
We're talking about giving the government control all new cars to have a kill switch in them where the government can shut your car off anytime they want.
Well, I mean, really, if they got more savvy about EMT technology, and I think Bob could probably pick up the ball here, if they got more savvy about that and used EMT technology in smaller devices, they can do that now.
Oh, you talking about EMPs, electromagnetic pulse?
EMP, thank you. I'm sorry.
Right, and what they do, so that's why you need to own a car with points.
Cold medicine.
Everybody needs about a 71 Camaro that has points, right?
Yeah.
If you had that, the EMP wouldn't mean a thing to you, right?
Yep.
But since your stuff is all electronic, one little EMP, well, electric car, it'll wreak havoc on it. That may never work again.
Well, I mean, really, most of your modern cars, if the electronics get shut down, and when I say modern, I mean everything from the mid '90s on.
Yeah, well,
it's going to affect it in some way.
If you look at stuff with two-port injection from the 80s, it won't work either.
Yeah.
And if stuff with high energy ignition, Chevrolet started it in 75 or 76. So anything that don't have points will be shut down, and computerized stuff, it'll wreak havoc on it, and that may never work again.
This conversation is taking a really dark turn. I love it. Survivalism. I love this shit. This is really the podcast we need to be doing.
Oh yeah.
What other games you want to talk about, Doug? We had that, man. There was a lot of activity yesterday.
How about Old Dominion at Liberty? That was a good one.
Liberty's still undefeated. I'm high on that coach. I think he's going to be getting a bump up pretty soon. Probably show up maybe further up in the American or something like that. Liberty is in the American.
Isn't James Madison also still undefeated?
They're still undefeated. They had a big game.
Is James Madison? That was he's kin to Dolly Madison. Wasn't that her old man?
Yeah, I think so. Yeah.
There was Dolly Madison got them cakes, man.
I believe there were two Madisons.
Yes, there was.
I think one was the father and one was the son. Both.
And one was the Holy Ghost.
Something like that.
That was George W. Bush, the promised one.
Let's see here.
I told you, man, I'm high as shit on this cold medicine. I took one of them death by gummies. I ain't smoked no ganja in a couple of days because I got this fucking chest thing, so I'm having to, that and coffee.
Well, the ganja will work up all the congestion, though. See,
Yeah. Well, no, I'm doing like cayenne pepper, apple wine vinegar. I got a Jamaican friend kind of gave me a Jamaican home remedy, so I'm trying the pussy version of that.
All right, so
we're breaking it up. It's actually working a little bit. It's breaking it up my chest.
Take a nap, and we'll be back here in about a minute or so.
Nap beats nuts.
Hey, little bear bear. You gonna be a good boy?
Don't worry, darling, about the rest of our lives.
From this day
Through thick and thin, come on, baby. I'll be there by your side. Oh,
I'm gonna love you forever.
Hey, bear.
It's Halloween, and you forgot the candy.
Trick or treat!
Don't be spooked. Grubhub has you covered.
You're
It's Halloween. Saved by Grubhub.
Guys, let's have some pizza!
That's it. I'm getting the new commercials for next week. God damn it.
I like the first commercial a lot.
Yeah.
It remind me of my snuggle friend.
I'm back. Sorry.
Bulldog.
I'm sorry.
I'm
back. Sorry.
The games yesterday, I mean, they're really, I think we've talked about everything that was worthy of talking about. Jimbo had one of his biggest wins of his career, beating Mississippi State 51-10 at College Station.
And you know what else happened?
Yes.
Jimbo Fisher got
So I guess we'll take a sneak peek at next week. I mean, surely there's something good next week, right?
Something good, meaning that is Texas A&M going to win any more games this year? Who's their interim? Who they name as the interim? All the hubbub. I didn't catch that.
Petrino?
Oh, maybe yeah. He's got experience.
I mean, who else would you get in that situation?
Good.
I mean, he's your guy if you can keep him.
Do you think Petrino somehow stabbed him in the back? Like Petrino went to the office right before the game was over. Hey, I got to go to the bathroom real quick. Y'all be assistant head coach for me for a minute. I'll be right back. And runs up to the skybox.
Did he talk to Phil Fulmer and figure out how to do it right?
This guy's a fucking idiot, and I can do this job for a third of the price. I can win just as many games for a third of the price. Come on, just let me in there. Just, I'll get you to a bowl game. We'll be bowl eligible. It's okay. It's okay.
All right, so we do
Tell
have.
me I can be coached. He did the same thing that Dwight did on The Office to Jan.
We do have Utah at Arizona next week, and that is a battle of two top 25 teams. So, but there's really not a lot going on this week. You got Chattanooga coming to Tuscaloosa. Nobody gives a flying fuck about that one.
Take Alabama and the points.
And then,
I would. Is
Milroe
gonna? If Milroe's going to start on in that game, I definitely would.
I think he probably won't play but the first quarter.
I don't know.
I'd hate to get him injured against Chattanooga. Louisville goes to Miami. That's not a bad game.
That's actually a decent game. That's another game that Miami could definitely lose.
Oklahoma goes to Provo to take on BYU.
Woo! I'll take Oklahoma. The BYU's kind of trash as of late.
Let's see here. The number 23 Tulane Green Wave goes to Florida Atlantic. Who gives a fuck?
Hey, Shannon, I got to say, man, I love the graphic watching your hand run the slides when you had the Jimbo Fisher celebration there.
I got my camera on, but I don't have it pointed at me because I look like I have COVID.
I know, but that was cool when you did that. And it made me, I see the color of the knobs, or it makes me think of the old Fosdick.
Yeah, I got the effects dialed up on this one. I already got, I've done a little board work over the years, so I know a little bit about sound, and I know how to jazz it up when we talk about Jimbo Fisher getting fired.
Guys, we do have a huge game this week, and wouldn't it be something if the unthinkable was to happen in this game, especially as bad as fucking Tennessee has looked? Georgia goes to Neyland Stadium this week, and that's a 2:30 kickoff. Apparently, they thought this was going to be a better game, and CBS must have took the option, and now they can't back out.
Damn. Hey, what's up, girl? What you doing?
It's Rory. Rory's got her chopsticks. She's been doing the chopsticks like drumsticks, and she's got a pretty good rhythm.
Hell yeah.
You see yourself on the TV? Yeah, she's a camera hog. She's a horrible camera hog.
Wake Forest at Notre Dame. Does anybody give a shit? Sean Devine don't even give a shit about that one.
No, I don't think he does. Is Sean Devine even watching Notre Dame football anymore this season?
I don't know.
He's got to be rather disappointed.
The Tar Heels go to take on Clemson, and Clemson they're officially bowl eligible, I think, now.
Yeah.
Oh, so they're now eligible for the Life Championship.
Yeah, they are 6-4.
Yeah, that's bowl eligible.
So I left them off the Life Championship vote, man. Now I feel like a bum.
Did Rory just say bullshit?
Yeah.
I thought she did too.
Yeah. Because this show is bullshit. We know it.
see here.
We'd like to help.
Georgia State goes to LSU. That's a big one.
Goodness.
Man, there ain't shit next week.
I think Kentucky's going to bye, and then they play Louisville the following week on the 25th.
Maybe we should just introduce the Dr. Ball show for next week for the year.
Basketball season is upon us.
We should at least talk about it for a little bit because there ain't shit to talk about next week.
The Champions Classic is coming up, which is Duke versus Michigan State and Kentucky versus Kansas. So there's at least a big game that we could talk about.
The only way we're going to have something to really talk about next Sunday is if one of these games somebody gets beat because they're really.
If Alabama loses against Chattanooga.
You know, I mean,
at Bryant Denny.
I mean, what if Tennessee upsets Georgia? Because that would be some fucking shit. Because Tennessee has looked terrible. We would probably spend all Sunday talking.
There is no way that Tennessee's. I'm expecting Tennessee to play better next week than they did this week. That's for damn sure.
I will say this:
beat Georgia right now.
It would not be the oddest thing I've ever seen.
No.
They're not going to beat Georgia.
I've seen a really bad LSU team beat an undefeated Alabama team one time.
Yeah, but LSU has crazy luck. Tennessee don't have any karma behind it because of Phil Fulmer. Phil Fulmer was such a POS that there's no karma behind Tennessee, whereas LSU seems to have some kind of crazy karma that never ends.
You hear
I've seen Nick Saban as the head coach of LSU lose to UAB, which was I don't even think a Division I team at that point.
No, I think they were, but I think they
turned
were
around and beat Notre Dame.
They're like one double A or something, weren't they? Who was the coach then? Was that Watson?
It was Watson.
Yeah, he was best coach they had up until Bill Clark. He was the GOAT.
Here's a fucking game. That guy. Here's a game a lot of people won't see the significance, but I definitely do. Southern Miss goes to Starkville to take on Mississippi State. That is a game that Ole Miss and Mississippi State have been avoiding for about a decade. They used to play Southern Miss, but Southern Miss used to sneak up and beat both of them pretty regularly. And they just both said, "Fuck you, we're not playing this. We're not playing Southern Miss anymore." Kind of like Alabama won't play UAB and never have in football.
Yeah.
But Southern Miss has creeped back onto that Mississippi State schedule, and I don't know how good Southern Miss is, but that might be. I think they got a shot even in Starkville.
No, they don't.
They're 3-7. Mississippi State.
I mean, Mississippi State's better than that. Come on.
They look pretty fucking dismal. They looked pretty dismal yesterday.
Well, I mean, look. Who was that? Who did they play yesterday?
Texas A&M.
Who was the head coach for? It was JIMBO Fisher got fired. And that is going to be pretty much that's right. That's going to be our mantra for the remainder of the season.
Looks like Colorado put together a solid performance yesterday and came up a little short, like they've been doing in a lot of games.
I don't know, man. Again, this is Colorado's first year. I'm still high on Coach Sanders. Y'all can say whatever you want to. We're talking about Colorado, and that in and of itself is phenomenal.
No, I think Sanders has done a great job. My only complaint earlier was that the media built it up so much that there was nothing that could have happened that was going to make him look good, because there was people saying that this team might make a playoff run. And I knew that shit wasn't happening.
Nah.
And once you say that, all the people that listened to that shit and believed it, now they think that he's having a terrible year. This team is massively improved from last year.
Yeah. And everybody's kind of.
Rory showed us guitar, so I'm going to show us amps, right? That's what we put together. See my little Marshall amp back here?
Oh, yeah.
That's my living room.
You still got the old PB? Mississippi Marshall.
Yeah, you got a red stripe bandit?
Who are you talking to?
I don't think Doug has any colors left on that PB. I don't even know if there's any cover on it anymore. I'm talking to you about it. Do you still have the PB?
The head?
The PB amp. Yeah.
Yeah, I got it.
You got that cabinet?
No, I've got a smaller speaker that can It can handle it as long as I don't crank it.
Yeah.
Oh, which head do you got?
It's an old dinosaur.
Is it red
God, we let
stripe?
that sit around for years and years.
Here's the thing you don't know, Shannon. It wasn't a PV, it's a crate. But the crate thing came off of it, and I stuck a PV emblem on it. True story.
That's some bullshit.
No, it's true.
No, I mean, but still, that's bullshit that you would misrepresent and say it was a PV.
I sure wasn't buying another crate thing to stick on it. Once
I'm a singer. I don't know the difference, though, so it doesn't matter.
All right. Harbaugh, is he going to be back anytime soon? Anybody heard anything? I mean, what's going on? They're acting like
Why is he still hanging around? Why don't he just run for the NFL right now? I mean, and you know, this, hang on one second. Jimbo Fisher got fired. After that happened, you would expect that maybe Jim would, kind of read the room, particularly with now the Big Ten saying, look, man, you don't need to be sitting around on the sidelines for these games, dude. This is a bad look for us. Just go hang out at the hotel down the street and just watch the game there, man.
So has anybody seen the story pop up that Michigan's really angry about this whole thing? And
of course they are. They fought him. They fought him. The Big Ten in court.
Well, they're talking about leaving the Big Ten over it.
Oh my God!
You can go where? The SEC?
That one's not the funniest one I've seen. The funniest one I've seen is the one that Bob Arthur Dr. Ball shared yesterday, that Auburn was considering going to the ACC.
That's crazy, ain't it?
Yeah, I don't believe it.
Well, I mean, but, at the same time, you think about what the ACC consists of. They would be a big fish in a small pond there, right out of the gate.
You know how much they're...
They got good facilities. Come on now. We talk a lot of shit about Auburn because we're Alabama fans, but let's be realistic here. That is a good program.
What is that, about a $25 million a year cut in pay?
Yeah.
At least.
It's huge.
Because there's a lot of other things that the SEC are involved in year and year out that the other conferences are not.
And what if Florida State and Florida State and Clemson leave right out of the gate? That's going to take that shit down much further than that.
Mm-hmm.
Because that's their bargaining chip right now. The ACC is Clemson and Florida State, and whatever they get from Notre Dame. Notre Dame has some type of affiliation with the ACC. It's just not full. They play so many games a year. I don't know if they share revenues with them. So.
Well, don't they have their own deal on the revenue though?
They've got their own TV deal, and I don't think Notre Dame really needs to share revenues with anybody.
Right. Even
on a bad year, Notre Dame makes a lot of fucking money.
I mean, they're just so popular amongst so many people. It's a big name, and even with what they got going on, it's one of them teams people just absolutely got to see it.
It don't matter who you're a fan of. If you're a Catholic, you're probably also going to be pulling for Notre Dame, buying Notre Dame merch, watching them on NBC. It's a deal, man. It's a real
like
deal.
The Yankees, where you see all these people in the South and places like that wear the Yankees hat, which I never will. I'm not a Yankees fan. I'm not from New York, but people are bandwagon people, and it's lasted for decades. And there's Notre Dame fans that probably never watched your game. So
all right, so let me get this last commercial out of the way, and then we'll get crazy with it when we come back.
Let's do it.
Hi, this is Kyle Golick, and I'm standing in the middle of SEC country. We're over here. Big Ten country here. Where do I stand? SEC, Big Ten. SEC, Big Ten. You're listening to the Smacking Off the Podcast.
Seasoning, food's favorite flavor.
Yum, yum, get you some.
I'm Joe Burrito, your favorite burrito. Whoa, whoa.
Joe,
hey.
We all know you're the best.
What?
But you can always do better. Try the new Dano's Hot Chipotle.
Hey. Ooh, that's spicy. Yum, yum.
Yum, yum, get you some.
Do y'all foresee Harbaugh back on the sideline before the season's up, or do you think we've seen the last of Harbaugh on the sideline?
COVID is killing me. This COVID is killing me. Jimbo Fisher no longer has a fucking job.
I love it. It's a 3-game suspension. The real question is, will he actually serve the whole 3 games of the
that's what I'm saying. He just needs to go the fuck back to the NFL right now. Forget about it. Forget about this shit. It doesn't matter anymore. It's over. It's done.
And I say the fella who cried on the sideline after the Penn State game, go ahead and let him take over. He's
was that the Connor guy? That was Connor, wasn't it?
He's all full of the Michigan spirit. So
I don't think Connor's not allowed in the games anymore, is he? Like anywhere in the Big Ten?
Sorry. Is that the guy?
That's the spy. That's the secret agent, man. That's Michigan's bag man.
Yeah, he had to go to Canada.
Agent man.
Secret bag man. What's old Danny Cannell doing these days? I never heard from him in a while. Remember them old Fine Ball Danny Cannell episodes? Man, those were epic.
So
Danny Cannell kind of left. He just like disappeared after that whole FBI got up his ass about trying to find out who the bag man was.
Mike Gibbs hit me up the other day and showed me some screenshots of
Sarah Reed threatening suicide.
Shannon Russell having come aparts.
Same difference.
Really angry about the fact that she said that she don't want to hear shit from any Alabama fans next time we get somebody hurt or something from a hit, from a bad hit, from a dirty hit.
Well, I'd love to have her on. My cop.
You hear that, Shannon Russell? I know she's at least got somebody listening.
She should be.
Shannon Russell,
I'd love to have her on. She needs to come on.
Yeah, we're extending a invitation to come on to the new college football dogs smacking off the podcast.
Yeah,
Shannon Russell, join us immediately.
I don't think she will.
Let's wait. Here she comes.
She's still pretty raw with me.
I think she's mad at all of us.
She is. And I still don't know why, because, again, it was a bunch of shit that I had absolutely zero to do with, but she was convinced that I did somehow. There was a lot of speculation, and I don't know. What are you going to do, man? I just try to keep it 100. That's it.
There you go.
Yeah.
Because she thinks we all facilitated her the fuss between her and Landon because nobody stopped it,
Stop what?
Yeah, what was there to stop?
Those are grown adults. Remember that? Do you remember the little story that I told earlier about everybody minding their fucking business? Yeah. I mean, seriously, I was minding my fucking business. That's something that's going on between two grown adults that can't hash it out. And suddenly I'm supposed to do something about that, like I'm the fucking principal or some shit.
Well, hell, I thought the way they were fussing that they wanted to kiss,
No, they want to fuck. I'm talking about hardcore, straight up fucking. Just like Jimbo Fisher tried to fuck yesterday at Texas A&M.
Hallelujah.
That happened. Well, actually, he didn't get buck though, because he's still going to get like what, $76 million. His agent's going to get a cut of that. The IRS gets their bit, but
what's the sad part about this is
I can live on that. I can live on whatever's left over there easily.
You know what's sad about this whole fucking thing? We don't get to talk about Jimbo anymore. He's irrelevant now. Totally irrelevant.
Let me back that up real quick, because he is going to pop up somewhere on a network somewhere.
Oh fuck!
It's 2023, dude. I'm surprised we don't see more of Ed Orgeron, except nobody can understand him.
Exactly.
Yeah.
The problem with Jimbo is that you can understand him.
Oh,
yeah. Now, don't his feuds with Nick Saban look like utter bullshit now?
I mean, really, they look like utter bullshit against his feud with Lane Kiffin. Man, I got to get on Lane's Twitter or X or whatever they're calling it now, because there's going to be some funny shit tonight.
And so here's what I got to say about that whole.
Do not think for a second that Lane Kiffin is not tweeting the shit out of that right now. He fucking hates Jimbo way more than Nick Saban does.
The whole spill that he made on Saban, and I'm not going to comment on it because, like he said, I know the guy, and he does. Yeah. And he knows way more about Saban than
we'll ever very well. I mean, for like decades and decades, they worked together.
I mean, he knows him, and I'm not going to for a second say he was lying about anything that. Well, he didn't really make a lot of claims. He just alluded to a lot of shit.
Yeah, he alluded to a lot of shit that's actually okay to do now in the NIL age. I mean, everybody drives a Challenger. We've known about that. Next.
I'm not going to say that he was making anything up. Of course, like I said, he didn't make any hard statements. It was all alluding to a lot of dirty shit going on, but nothing. He never said what was going down.
Now, Saban told Pat McAfee that he's graduated to Ferraris and Mercedes.
Well, I mean, again, Nick Saban just bought, or actually him and his team of investors, which own a couple high-end car dealerships here in the Birmingham, Tuscaloosa area, just bought a couple high-end, Mercedes, that sort of thing, that sort of upper-class luxury dealerships down in Florida that were valued at like $70 million just for the two dealerships. So, yeah, he's making some serious bank just on that, and I don't know how involved he is on the day-to-day to that, but he's making money off of it. Look, let's be fair. That's where the challengers and shit were coming from, because Nick Saban's had a Mercedes dealership, and that's Dodge. Dodge owns Mercedes now. That's a Chrysler Corporation.
Either way, no matter what Saban is and what Jimbo knows about him, it definitely set him on a downward spiral, and he was going to get fired anyway. But he's
a shit coach. He is not in the same league as Nick Saban. He never ever will be. He got lucky the one and only national championship that he owns.
But once he did that, he went under the fucking radar. Everybody was watching at that point. They're like, this guy. Everybody that hated Saban was like, this guy's got some balls. Let's see what happens.
Yeah.
And then the same shit happened. The same shit happened.
The NCAA has been camped out. They practically have their own office down in the University of Tuscaloosa. Or the university down in Tuscaloosa. And it's ludicrous. It's ludicrous for anybody to think, with all of the allegations that have swirled for years and years and years about, y'all need to look at Nick Saban. Nick Saban's paying the refs, and Nick Saban's paying these folks. Nick Saban got friends at the NCAA. Eventually something would stick, right? Mm-hmm. After how many years now? What are we, year 15, 16 in his tenure? Come on, man. Y'all need to give that shit a rest. And you know what? You know what my argument has always been whenever that comes up? Well, y'all should be mad at your own program for not figuring out how to do it as well and get away with it.
To beat him.
I mean, seriously, if you can't why be mad at the people that are successful when you can go ahead and follow the same path of success? And I'm sorry, but look at Kirby Smart over at Georgia right now.
Yep.
I'm sorry that right there is a direct result of him working under Nick Saban and watching, note for note, taking every single last cue that he had and taking that over to Georgia and winning national championships. It's that we as Alabama fans see the same thing that Georgia's going through, because we've seen it year in and year out.
Georgia has won 27 games in a row. By the time Alabama gets to them, it's going to be 29 in a row.
That's wild.
Yep. And if I'm not mistaken, Alabama is probably going to be the ones defending on that. I know Gene Stallings. Well, Bear Bryant had a streak where he got somewhere in the mid to late high 20s.
So didn't Oklahoma have a 51 game winning?
Oh yeah. But we're just talking about it in the SEC.
Yeah, but I'm thinking he could beat that one as well.
Oh, 57? No.
Yeah, because if you look at the way that it works out, if he
in this day and age, that's wild.
Yeah, I will put $1,000 right now that they won't hit it.
I don't think they'll hit it too, but I know it's
especially in this day and age, and especially now that we're starting to see more parity in college football.
Playing an SEC schedule year in and year out.
Yeah, that's an unattainable goal for even a good team at a minor league. Let's say I just brought up Liberty a minute ago. If Liberty goes on a 55-game win streak, that would be just phenomenal.
They'd have to win a New Year's Six Bowl.
Yeah, they'll have to win every game for 3-4 years in a row.
Yeah, I think if a team ever does shatter that 57-game win streak, it's not going to be in a major conference.
Mm-hmm.
And so people aren't going to really look at it as beating that record.
It'll be a Rush Probst high school team on it.
So where will be Georgia's place in history if they win the Natty this year as well?
Man, that's going to be tough.
That's rarefied air, man, and that puts Kirby in that conversation is the same conversation as Saban as soon as he does it a few more times. Yeah, he's got a ways to go before he catches up to St. Nick, but he's still young enough. Kirby's in his mid-50s?
Yeah,
he's
I
got
think me and
time,
him are
man.
the same age. I think Kirby and I are the same age.
Yeah, he's got time, man. He's got plenty of time.
So yeah,
I just realized I've been
But
following Kirby
again,
Burke.
transfer portal being what it is, NIL being what it is, he's not going to be able to sustain the success for an extended period of time. And I think the day and age of that we see one particular coach having that kind of dominance, it's going to start to fade. It really is.
I do believe, and Robert's going to disagree with me here because he hates the Big Ten, but I think the winner of the Michigan-Ohio State game has a really good shot at winning it all.
I don't think either one of them.
Well, they're going to the playoffs and they get to play their way in. That's for damn sure.
Yeah, I don't know. It's hard. I mean, winning.
Do you think the loser of that game gets left out of the playoff picture?
Yes,
I guess. I mean, with all of the other teams circling up.
Yeah, I think so. I think there's just going to be too many good teams, and
not only that, but I mean, Michigan has kind of also tainted their situation going in there. Now, the playoff committee's been very, very quick to point out that they are their own entity and they're going to put the best teams that they think are in there. But a Michigan team that loses to Ohio State, we have a bunch of good teams waiting in the wings. It would almost stand to reason that the Big Ten would take, or excuse me, the playoff committee would take a more harder look over Michigan to these other teams that are one-loss teams that are, had some good success, particularly down here in the meat of the season where the good games are.
Now, Michigan, this is the first game they've played of any consequence, the Penn State game.
Man, James Franklin, I can't say enough bad about James Franklin.
Can't punch it in. You just cannot punch it in for some reason.
No, and I mean, 2016 is getting further and further away, and that's I think that they've seen the best of James Franklin, and it was in 2016.
Yeah.
But anybody got anything to add?
James Franklin to Michigan.
I like it. I'm endorsing it.
Slide right on over. That's not that far of a move. You get a U-Haul.
Matter of fact, Penn State would love if Michigan would come after James Franklin because I believe they owe him a lot of money if they fire him too.
So who could Jimbo Fisher potentially coach for that would want him?
Well, I mean, with the kind of money he's making, do you think he really wants to? Doesn't he want to do the Urban Meyer thing and take a year or two off to reflect and count that money and roll around in it like Scrooge McDuck?
Couldn't we go full circle? We could go full circle here, and he could end up back in Birmingham coaching the Sanford Bulldogs.
They take him. They take him in a heartbeat.
I don't think he was the head coach there before, but he was the offensive coordinator there for Terry Bowden.
Didn't he play there?
He might have. I believe he's a West Virginia guy, but
I can't remember. I might be mixing him up with somebody else.
All right, so next week on Smacking Off the Podcast, we will answer this question. Right?
Mm-hmm.
Good night, guys.
Big guy getting better.
Thank you for supporting Smacking Off the Podcast and College Football Dogs. And don't forget to stream in each Sunday evening for a live episode at 9 p.m. Eastern.